If you're like the majority of the population who thinks that sports cars are only in a two-door form, you are very mistaken. Fortunately, there are some fantastic sedan sports cars out there for a price most Americans could afford. The cool thing is that most of these cars are quicker and can handle a lot better than a lot of the two-door sports cars. Also, do not forget to subscribe for weekly automotive content. With that being said, here are my top 7 sports sedans under $30K. 2010 Mercedes C63 AMG. There are so many reasons to love this car. Maybe it's a beautiful Alcantara leather, the space it has, or it might be the unmistakable growl of an exhaust. One of the best reasons is that you can find this majestic beast under $20,000 with under 100,000 miles. So a lot of people like to compare the C63 AMG to the BMW M3. The M3 ultimately is the better car, coming from many automotive journalists. However, I think these cars are so different that it's hard to really compare them. Although the AMG is a sport model, it just doesn't compare to the BMW M3. BMW has been making M cars since the M1 in 1978. On the contrary to Mercedes' first production car AMG was the 1993 Mercedes C36 AMG. The C63 will have everyone taking a double look. Not only can it perform on the track, it can still hold your kids in the back seats. Let's not forget about practicality. 2015 Chevy SS. The Chevy SS is literally a Corvette made for the family. The interior is a lot different from the Corvette and it doesn't perform as well as a Vette for obvious reasons. Still, it beats out a car with a 6.2 liter V8 LS3, giving it 415 horsepower. However, it does cost more than the C63 AMG, and it's not as luxurious, but it has something AMG is missing. In 2015, Chevy introduced the manual gearbox for this car. Yes, this 415 horsepower sedan is manual and rear wheel drive. What's not to love? Yeah, I really don't know, because it does ride on magnetic suspension, which is pretty cool. In other countries, this is called a Commodore, so you'll probably find a lot of them badged as one. But I think those badges suit the car a lot better, since most likely you're trying to convince someone, to allow you to buy this car. It has back seats. 2012 Dodge Charger SRT8. Now, Dodges have a bad rap, and truthfully, they deserve it. A lot of the products are cheap and not worth buying because they tend to break prematurely, but we're talking about the Dodge Charger SRT8, which has 470 horsepower. You'll find them in the low $20,000 range. It may be the heaviest on this list, but it definitely delivers a punch. However, for the price, I'd grab something else. This car is pretty good around corners with little body roll. It's a badass car, but definitely not my favorite. 2015 Subaru WRX STI. Once again, these will be in the low $20,000 range. Although this is a 4-cylinder, it still keeps up with the big V8s I mentioned before. The STI is a true track car and was developed for it. With a few simple engine mods, it should be competitive worthy. The ride is stiff, which is why it's meant to be a track car. If you do not like a stiff ride, then you aren't ready for a sports car. Unlike most cars, the wing actually serves its designated purpose. This engine is ready and set up for modifications to allow it to beat the big V8s. Just like the rest of these cars, the STI will hold its value pretty well. A lot better from the base model WRX. Just to top it all off, it does come with a 6-speed manual gearbox. So with all 4 tires planted and 6 gears, you're ready to hit the streets. 2008 Audi RS4. Let's start off with the bad news. The mean wide-body wagon Audi RS4 Avant is not available in America. You just have to get over it. Typically, the RS4 is owned by previous enthusiasts, so it should have been cared for properly, but it may have been at the track more than a dozen times. Nevertheless, the RS4 is the cream of the crop in regards to the B7 model. Let's go down a list of preventions. The DRC suspension was prone to failure, and there was a recall, so be sure that it's been fixed, or just go aftermarket suspension. The two-piece rotors can get pricey and may be damaged due to the OEM brake pads that evidently scrape into the rotors. It's weird how Audi didn't catch that before they sold the car. Well, anyways, the motor has to be cleaned every 40,000 miles due to its high carbon buildup, so be sure you budget that in the price as well. Finally, the clutch. This car was sold in America only with a manual gearbox, so many owners may have bought it as their first manual car, so be sure the clutch pedal feels normal. The RS4 is a badass car, but there are many flaws. If you want, grab the Audi RS4. Due to a lot of false claims, these cars' prices fell down, and they're probably some of the best bargains for performance cars on the market. 2006 to 2010 BMW M5. I'm going to get so much hate for this, but you cannot beat 500 horsepower for under $20,000. It's a BMW M5. It will be virtually impossible to find an E60 BMW M5 with low miles and gently driven. You may find one owned by some random business person, but expect high miles. You may be saying right now, you'll be throwing your money away buying this car. And yes, you'll need a lot of disposable income for this type of car. Due to its mythical V10 inspired by Formula 1 driving, the price to change out this engine is unbelievable. With higher miles, these things like the rods. Most drivers do not take care of their M car, like letting it warm up every time before using its full potential, and that is what kills these cars the most. Always warm up your car. Nevertheless, the M5 is a beautiful car inside and out and can come with a 6-speed gearbox. Getting a low mile M5 with a 6-speed at an appropriate price is as rare as spotting a unicorn. Good luck. 2015 Ford Taurus SHO. This Ford is more of a sleeper than anything else. The SHO has a turbocharged V6 that actually gives out solid horsepower numbers and good gas mileage. Comes with an all-wheel drive system, which makes it better than most cars on the road. This car can drive around corners like a breeze with its upgraded suspension and paddle shifters mounted on a steering wheel. Once again, you can find one in the low $20,000 range. Before everyone rages in the comments, sure, I may have missed some cars. They will be placed in a future video. These are some badass cars for the price. If you have $30K, why not grab yourself some of these amazing machines? If this video helped you out, be sure to press that like button, subscribe, and press that notification bell. Let me know down below which one you would pick. By now, 2 videos should be popping up. If you have time, check them out. This is Chris with AutoMotivate. Always appreciate one another. I'll see you next time.